Yo, yo, yo. What is happening? Yeah, I ain't got no issue with sound right now. Ain't going to be going through that again, ladies and gentlemen. What is good? Good morning. All right then, ladies and gentlemen, let's roll with it. What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Is the sound there? Yes, it is. Man, what a palaver last night, guys. Couldn't believe it. I was bringing you that fire last night when I was talking, and you couldn't even hear anything. But anyway, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're all doing well. We've got a bit of movement in the charts. CPI data comes in hot. But guys, let's just look at the bigger picture for a minute. I'm not here to kill your joy. We'll get to the charts in a few moments. Is FTX the new Luna? Now listen, we've got a couple of things that are a bit different between Luna and, of course, FTX. You see, FTX is more, how can I put it to you, more of an organization as a company. Now, I know Luna is stable coin and what have you, but there's more at stake with FTX because we've got some big backers. Paul Tudor Jones, BlackRock, all backing good old Sam Bankman with his little venture. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to put this out there, all right? Sam Bankman-Fried made his fortune on arbitrage. Can you honestly believe that a guy whose net worth one day was around 24 billion, or whatever the figure was, 15 to 24 billion dollars, to down to $1 billion. Do you think my guy has not covered himself? His career has been based on arbitrage. Do you honestly believe that he hasn't covered his bet? Could this all be a big swipe? Now listen, if we're going to go down the route of, how can I put it to you, conspiracies? I mean, look, what I'm asking you to do is to think outside the box, okay? You've got a guy who doesn't behave like he is trying to represent himself, continuously in his pajamas all day, all right? Don't get it twisted. If you're a billionaire, at least look the part, bro. Don't be rolling up in beat-down trainers, washed-out socks, shorts, and an FTX t-shirt to a conference. Like, come on, bro. But what I'm trying to say to you guys is this. Surely he has hedged himself in some way, shape, or form. You can't just be so pretty cool about losing 95% of your wealth overnight. Talks of solvency coming into play right now. Now, when you've got people, financial backers, knocking on the door, there's one of two things that can happen. He either gets the financial backing, which Binance CZ, my guy, he tried. Sad days. Now, remember, FTX in principle is a company, so the liability can be somewhat limited. So Sam, in principle, as a employee of the company, on paper, shut up shop. You're done. He's now unemployed. The company goes into solvency unless someone steps in and buys it. And Binance was really the only candidate to do so unless someone from Wall Street steps in and says, we'll pick it up. We'll get some legislation in, and let's see how it rolls from there. Binance is already tied up with Twitter. Who knows? But I truly believe that Sam is hedged in this situation. Now, coming into the markets, ladies and gentlemen, we've got this idea that the CPI data has come out, which only came out 45 minutes ago or so, showing that inflation has cooled. That's great news. The market has clearly responded to this. Now, this is where the future of the market is going to be priced in now. So the reaction for the CPI data has come in positive. It's showing a reduction. Only last month, it was 8.2%. Now they projected 7.9%. It came in at 7.7%. JP Morgan did say that a reading below 7.6 would spark a rally of about 5% in the S&P and the NASDAQ potentially. That has happened near enough. The market has welcomed the idea that the Fed now can put and drop a gear in the idea of how aggressive they're going to be with the interest rates, but we still got the problem of employment. Yes, inflation is starting to take its toll on people's wages. The housing market has taken a slump, all because the mortgage rates are just too high for people. Is this data enough to grant that the Fed is going to just stop being so aggressive and maybe only increase interest rates in December by 0.5% as opposed to the 0.75%? Is their hawkish tone now going to step down a bit? But you're forgetting one thing. We still have more data to come out. We have the consumer sentiment coming out tomorrow. Okay? Now, if that is positive, then it just puts us back into the same boat. So any move that you see in the market right now, given where we are in the current circumstances, okay, be very cautious trying to run for longs. All you're going to be waiting for is another thumbnail or someone to say, Bitcoin to 100K, this is it. It's the move, happy days. But we need to make sure that we are fully aware of what's likely to happen in the near future. They said inflation will cool. They're naturally expecting that. Oil is dropping. So has this data actually reflected oil's decrease in price? But has that decrease in price of oil being reflected to the consumer? And the consumer sentiment tomorrow will dictate that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. We've got some movement in the chart. And today I want to just discuss and help you guys understand the logic of projection. How can you learn to project a potential play in any asset? So I'm going to be focusing on Bitcoin and show you what I'm talking about very shortly. But I'm going to navigate the markets just to take a quick look at what's been going on. And then I'll show you what I'm talking about in relation to projections. Okay? Let's have a conversation. Cool. Now, in front of you guys, we've seen a nice little play by Bitcoin to the upside. Let's navigate and look at where everything else is going. BNB has shot up nearly 10%, and it looks like it's going to try and come back down ever so slightly just because the market has just absorbed a lot of liquidity. Let's take a trip down memory lane, ladies and gentlemen, and have a look at those shorts that we witnessed last night in Binance, and they have paid the price. Again, guys, pay yourselves, man. This is just the testament right here that people leave money in the charts. Don't do it. Take your money and run. Let's count. $584 million worth of short liquidations at 16,975. Roll up to the bigger liquidity pools at $942 million worth of short liquidations at 17,350. Let's just roll on to the 7-day chart for a split second, guys, and break down where the money has gone. Clear as day, isn't it? There are more people short than there are long, and this is visible on the 7-day chart, okay? This liquidity all the way up at 21,000 has got $4.96 billion worth of short liquidations. That would require a ton load of liquidity to come back into Bitcoin to get all the way back up to 21K, okay? Maybe even a 20% move up in Bitcoin would grant that situation. We're already up 10%. So if we were to see price move up another 10, 20%, for example, from this current point, we would expect Bitcoin, look, there it is, 20% move up to get towards the 21 region. That would solidify traders' minds that the 20K zone, again, is the psychological zone. People will start buying, all right? But is this move enough? What are you waiting for? You're waiting for the proof of the move. You are waiting to determine that when price makes a move to the upside, man, that sun is hitting me in the face. This is terrible. Forgive me. Wow. When it moves up like this and retraces back down, this is the proof of the move. That zone right there will determine how likely price is going to continue with this narrative. If risk is back on, yields should continue to drop. Look at dollar dominance. Ow. Rip to the downside, okay? The problem that we've got with dollar dominance is it has this tendency to leave clues as to what it's trying to do. And so far, so good. Dollar dominance is sticking in line with our projection pattern, okay? Now, if you look closely, you can see if I remove this little play right here where dollar index comes back in towards the vector candle region, happy days, we've got a big red vector candle, which is only giving me the assumption that they're going to come back to this. Yesterday, JP Morgan said, get defensive, long dollar. They've already said, yeah, inflation's going to cool, but it doesn't mean it's over. So everyone's reacting now to good news. New York will be opening very shortly in the next 8 minutes, and we're going to see the reaction. If New York has jumped, look at that for NASDAQ, ladies and gentlemen. I am looking forward to this candlestick getting recovered. Look at it. Huge imbalance. Vector candle recovery. Look left. Vector candle recovery on the wick. Look to the top side. NASDAQ would, in principle, have to shift above 11,750 to really be sustained on the idea that risk appetite is back on. The problem that I've got is the yields, they're still in this zone. All right? They've come back into this previous zone yet again. I need the yields to actually take a nosedive and break beyond the 3.86 region for me to understand that although the yields have taken a nosedive and people are picking up government bonds, okay, if that's going to be the case, it needs to break below this point because that tells me that people are actively buying government debt. They are picking up the basket of assets that the government has, and it's a low-risk return, but it's a safe bet. That's why you see NASDAQ moving up. That's why you see S&P moving up. But does that grant the start of a bullish market? Look at the move. Look at S&P. What has it actually done? It's only come back into vector candle regions. Always keep in your mind when the markets are trading lower, yields have inverted, recession is going to be mild and going into 2023, okay? The prospect of the Fed increasing interest rates to around the 5% mark at March 2023, you've got to say to yourself, what are people favoring? Are they favoring longer term returns or short term returns? This is an example of short term returns. So the next thing that we are waiting for, guys, is the market's response to the future. And if the future is going to look good, then Bitcoin in principle should break above the 50 EMA. The 5 and 13 EMA needs to break above the 50 EMA for us to understand that the trend is favoring higher prices. Now, we look left on the hourly, guys, and we have not had any retracements back to the 50 since yesterday. We need to see a retracement, and here's the retracement. The problem that I've got, guys, is the fact that they have left these vector candle regions right here. Let's look at the volume. The volume is less. There's more pushes to the downside than there is aggressive volume to the upside. So we need to wait for confirmation that this move is going to be sustained. Otherwise, it's just going to be another standard flip by Mr. Market Maker to bring price back down again. Let's have a look at FTT, up 43%. Look at this, man. This is so bad. It has pretty much recovered all of the vectors in the zone. Look at that. That is despicable. Look. One more zone. Look how they recovered that region right there. That is crazy. Let me just mark this off for vector candle principles. Here we go. And they've got a wick down. Oh my goodness. Look at that. They have eaten absolutely everything. Look at that. Despicable. So if this move, ladies and gentlemen, by the principle of the vector candles, one would assume that this bad boy should shoot back up into value. The only thing that could lead that to happen is if Sam gets the funding. Solvency is already being discussed. Now, nothing is legitimately put in place right now. But at the last minute, something could happen which could lead this to retrace back up. Happy days. From a trader's perspective, you can see that everything has taken a nosedive to the downside. But if you go onto Twitter, there's already conversations about USDT. Alameda Research making certain transactions. 250K drop, 250K purchase, okay, a transaction, which leads USDT to drop and instantly recover. Is this the Luna scenario all over again? So you've got to look at the chain of events on why I personally believe that this could be a manipulative move across the board. All right, check this out. Let me just bring Bitcoin up just so that we're paying close attention to its price action. Sam Bankman-Fried, not exactly popular in the crypto space. His agenda seems to be somewhat challenged. You've got Binance and CZ, where there is this dispute between them, and CZ doesn't like the behavior of Sam in relation to his approach to crypto. Cool. They fall out. Then what happens? Can we join together and form an ecosystem? That looks promising. Happy days. Then all of a sudden, Sam is declaring a problemcy with solvency. Can Binance come in and step in and buy it up and resolve the matter? They teased us with it, and then he pulls out of the situation because of FTX's books. Fine. Now what happens? You've got the big blue chip investors, Paul Tudor Jones, BlackRock, okay? Stepping up, asking, where's my money? And when BlackRock knocks on your door and asks where's their money, that's a bit of a problem because BlackRock runs everything. You just look at their portfolio of investments, guys. They are managing a ton load of businesses and equity, and it's frightening. So when you've got those guys over your head, you've got to be making sure that you are doing due diligence, okay? More importantly, Sam himself is infamous for his arbitrage bets with Bitcoin, okay? That's how he made his fortune. So tell me why this could not be a ploy to bring FTX back up. Until they declare insolvency, that is potentially what could happen in the future. Until they say it, FTX has been insolved. Solvency issues, we're going to go through to court. Will they declare bankruptcy? Until that happens, guys, all right, anything can happen. Looking at the way Bitcoin's behaving right now, ladies and gentlemen, all you need to be aware of is this. There are a lot of people right now probably rushing to the charts to buy. But what's happening is there is a lot of short covering happening in the chart right now, okay? Short covering means that traders who are in shorts right now need to get rid of their assets. They need to get rid of their positions. And when you sell a short contract, you buy it back. It's called buy to cover. And this could be the response, okay? Now, let me show you something on the idea of projection, how you can project these sort of plays. They were already telling us that CPI data was going to come into a cooling figure, all right? So they sometimes do help us. But it's when we do catch the move and everything is favorable, do we pay ourselves? Check this image out. So last night I shared a projection to the patrons of the channel, getting them to understand the idea of how to project price after a certain environment has been undertaken. So Bitcoin has been taking a nosedive to the downside. And I explained to them last night and said, look, we've got this structure in the chart. I expect Bitcoin to start moving back up and test these zones because this area here is the sell, stop, hunt zone. This is where I expect them to bring it back into the fray in the Asian session to only move down again. Why? Because we've had an aggressive move down and the market needs to bring things back into the fray so that it can encourage traders to buy and sell at a specific point in time because they can only send it down for so long. This is why I'm saying to you guys, the idea of FTX being the new Luna, we haven't seen the same behaviors that have been happening with FTX as they were with Luna. So just keep an eye out on FTX until it's declared that they've got insolvency issues and they're going to go through to bankruptcy. There is the potential for it to come back up. Okay? Be mindful. That's not a reason for you to go and start buying it. No, we don't know where we are right now with this situation. Going back into this idea of projection, what you've got to be aware of is this. Bitcoin stalls at this point right here, okay? Now, when we go into the actual chart itself, you can see what had happened. The result of that. There's that structure. W formation. Rise up, retrace, sell stop zone, and then they mark it back down again. Bring the image up for you one more time. Where is it? Happy days. And this is how you project out. Okay? Because you understand that when they've been marking price down, they need to bring things back into the fray. So when you look at a chart, okay, and you say to yourself, right, where do I expect? Let's look at Ethereum, for example. How did Ethereum do it? Ethereum takes a nosedive to the downside. They have been dropping significantly and they hit previous vector points in the chart. So that is what gave me the understanding that price was going to move back up. Okay? Now, with that being said, guys, Ethereum has done a good job. Why on earth is that happening on there? Get rid of that. Just add this. If you haven't got the indicator already, ladies and gentlemen, just Google, search in TradingView, Traders Reality, and then it will come up for you. Let me just get rid of all of this stuff here, man. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Happy days. Here we go. So Ethereum has now hit the 800 EMA on the 5-minute time frame. I need to look at where it is on the 1-hour time frame. Okay. Now, a lot of people in the Pattern Watchers Discord would understand, and in the Patreon, they'll understand that this looks like a V-shaped play. Okay. But it's too much of an extended move. The 50 EMA is close to price. So just be mindful that they could actually look to reverse this bad boy. My face is getting blown out. Look at that. I'm shining. Yes, I can't. Oh, my days. Look at this. I can't believe I've got to stay like this, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, this is perfect, man. I love these boomer moments that happen in this live stream. I love it. Let's just have a look at Euro for a second. Look at that. Look at this despicable recovery of vector candles in Euro. Vector candle recovery principle. You only need this to understand the vectors. Look, when they hit a point of liquidity, they have to bring things back into the fray. Okay, because they've just released a ton load of liquidity, which means that traders that were long have now been liquidated. So in order to take advantage of the traders who are running shorts, trying to close these longs, they rip price back up, and the data does that. You can see what they've done right here. Look at the precision of it. Bad boy flip right there. That is beautiful. Okay, let's look elsewhere. Dollar yen. Oh, beautiful. Dollar yen coming back into that 143 zone, yet it hasn't broken a significant region. I'll say this to you now. Dollar yen needs to break beyond 140 for us to be on the belief that the dollar dominance is going to start slowing off and everything's going to start rolling over. Problem is with that is the Japanese yen can't keep on moving up like this. It doesn't pay them to have a strong yen. So be mindful. They came back into this vector. Tell me why they won't come back into this vector candle at some point. 10-year yields, nosedive to the downside, still in that range. Cool. Let me just have a look at some other coins. Let me just go over to my altcoins watch list. Here we go. Who's winning? MATIC's taken a nice jump up to 31%. Brilliant move up by there. Here we go. Let's wait for that. Vector candle recovery coming up into the violet vector zone. You can see the psychological region right here. And for anybody new to the channel, the psychological zones are the first high and the first low that is established at the start of a new trading week in crypto. What day is it today, ladies and gentlemen? It's Thursday. Thursday has been renowned in crypto to be the midweek reversal. You see, in Forex, this is what we look for. W formation, which forms on a Sunday, Monday. Rise, level 1. Rise level 2, rise level 3 peak formation, drop level 1, drop level 2, drop level 3 peak formation. Okay? Now, this would be in principle Sunday night. Monday, level 1, rise. Tuesday, level 2, rise. Wednesday, level 3. So that's half the week in crypto, in Forex, because Forex only trades Monday to Friday. You've got Sunday night, but it becomes Monday when it turns at the stroke of midnight. So you've got 5 days worth of trading. Wednesday's the midpoint for the week, which is where we expect the reversal to happen. Okay? Now, crypto's doing the same thing, but it's on a Thursday that they usually like to reverse. Go back in the charts and pull up every single Thursday that you can find, and you'll see that on average, 80% of the time, there is a reversal happening on a Thursday. Now, is this move up by Bitcoin, by all these altcoins? I mean, look at these figures that they're climbing up on, 20%, 18%. I don't blame you guys for trading altcoins. But when you see these sort of plays, guys, please be mindful, man. Pay yourselves, because look, Render token has made a nice move up, but just look at them recovering the vector right now. They've recovered that zone. A lot of people went long in this area right now because they think that's it. The bull market is in. Cool. I want proof of the bull market to come into play. Do I still believe in 8K Bitcoin? Of course I do. I've got vector candle region. Inflation is still high, 7.7%. We've just absorbed the idea that things are okay. Bitcoin's taken a mad move up of 10%. Bitcoin would have to really show its worth in this move up by retracing back into the 800 EMA, which is where we would understand the proof of the move to exist. Okay? So be very careful. I need to flip this up over. Be very careful when you are trading this situation right now with Bitcoin, guys. I'm serious. All right? It's tempting. Everyone's going to start talking about Bitcoin has bottomed out, the bulls are in, whales are doing this. So 2 days ago, whales have just dumped a ton load of Bitcoin into exchanges, okay? For Bitcoin to start making a move back up now. So let's just look at the logic. Why am I going to go to the effort to dump in thousands and thousands of Bitcoin into exchanges for it to only move back up now? Which grants the question, is this move just CPI data related? And is it the squeeze, the long squeeze, that's going to encourage people to think otherwise, that everything's looking good in the future? Yes, the data shows inflation is cooling, but is it showing a significant reduction? No. We will only know this when it comes to the next data that comes out in December. That's where we will know where we stand. Consumer confidence comes out tomorrow, so that's going to dictate where we are with people's behavior with the realm of data in inflation, You can see Bitcoin now has made the move. Remember the structure, okay, of the actual Brinks box. When the Brinks box forms at the high, what are you anticipating? A stop run. The liquidity is down below. Remember, short-term interest is what is happening right now. People favor quick profits. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will be checking in with you all later on. You want to learn more about the hybrid, check out the Patreon. It's pinned to the top of the chat, and we'll have a conversation over there as well. Mad love and respect, guys. Take care of yourselves. Peace.